Good morning and welcome to the historic city of Carlisle and the start of the Cumbria Way. We're just stood at Carlisle Cross, or the Old Market Cross, in Carlisle city centre, which is the recent addition as the official start and finish of the Cumbria Way. And we've got the Guildhall there in the background. And it's about 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning. The weather's not too bad, and we're about to start our trip to Ulverston. We'll see you on the trail. Here we are, just a few hundred metres from the start at Carlisle Castle, and unfortunately it's not open yet. We don't really have time to get in and see it today with about 16 miles to walk. But the castle here is a real legacy of the Romans' occupation of Britain. As the castle was built on the site of one of the major forts on Hadrian's Wall. In fact, it's right on top of Hadrian's Wall, and Hadrian's Wall path is just on the other side of this dual carriageway. So the city itself has existed in some form or other for, well, since pre-Roman times. It was a major settlement before the Romans even came to Britain, but with the building of the fort here, it really solidified the future of Carlisle as a city. Yeah, eventually the castle was built. I'd need to check the dates. I think it was around the 12th century or so that the castle was built on the remains of the Roman fort here. Like so many other places, Carlisle is a derivation like so many other places. Carlisle is basically Castle Lisle is the translation, and the car part being care. The castle itself is also the last castle in Britain to come under siege during the Jacobite uprising, when the Scots invaded England and retreated from Derby. They left a garrison of about 400 men here, and they came under siege. The castle fell to the besiegers, and that was pretty much the end of a lot of those guys that were in the castle. Again, I'd need to check the dates, but around the 1740s. But it's still used as a military base today, and in latter years became quite an important place in controlling the border reivers. And if I get the chance, I'll read out the quite fantastic curse put on the border reivers by the Bishop of Glasgow. Something like around 1000 600-word curse. I think he was a pretty upset man when he cursed them. We should just cross the river here, turn left, and we'll be on our way. See you a bit further down the trail. Well, we're maybe a couple of miles out of Carlisle now, and left the city behind. Not the most pretty of walks out the city, but as these things go, it's you got to walk some way. We should actually be down by the river, which is just on our left, so we're heading by the scrub here. But we're on a cycle route at the moment. We've got quite a long way to walk on this tarmac, which is quite hard on the feet, but it's been quite busy with walkers and dog walkers this morning, even for relatively early on a Sunday. So the Cumbria Way, what is it and where does it go? Well, it's a route right through the heart of the Lake District. Keswick, the Langdales, Coniston, so some of the major and best known sites in the lakes, and runs between Ulverston and Carlisle. Now, most guidebooks and people seem to walk it south to north. We've tried that in the past, but actually I think we've found that it's a better walk going north to south. This day from Carlisle to Caldbeck, it's about 15 or 16 miles, and if you're coming north it'd be a bit of a disappointment, but heading south, it's your first day, and it's quite a nice introduction to the Cumbria Way, and it is the Cumbria Way and not a Lake District way, if that makes any sense, that you're getting an experience of the county of Cumbria rather than just the Lake District. But we're a bit overcast at the moment. It is really muggy. It's supposed to clear up a bit later, but all in all, it's been quite a pleasant start to the walk, and I'll catch up with you a bit later. And we're about 5 miles in. This lovely little village called Dalston. It's coming into this churchyard, and this place looks old. There's probably a service on just at the moment. But we're coming up to the village square, and it's morning. Yeah, it's been quite hard on the feet this morning, so we're going to have a look in the cafe, I think, and have a break. Morning. I've left Dalton, we're probably about the 6 mile mark at the moment, just walking along this path next to what I think might have been an old mill race. We've just been through an old industrial unit, and it's water's crystal clear here. Morning. But we're not off the tarmac yet. So hopefully we'll be in the next couple of miles, which would be good. We just walked into this field of real youngsters, and they obviously think they might be getting fed or something, or they're just very nosy. Hello, Lily. Well, what do you think you're getting? There you are. No, I don't have anything for you to. Yeah, there's nothing for you to suck on, I'm afraid, pal. No, and I don't want you to slaver all over my stuff, thank you very much. Excuse me.
Hello. Hello. Hiya.
Oh dear. Yeah. Oh yuck. Covered in cow slivers. The way marking and all of this has been pretty dire actually, so it's a bit better marked going north, but the way marking's been very, very sketchy coming south, which has been a bit of a problem because it's taken us far longer to do the last mile than it should have done, but we're on a good track now, and this should last for a good distance, and we're beginning to feel like we're on the way now. Just a little further on than the cows back there, but now we're beginning to get into open country and away from the sprawl of Carlisle, if you like. Although it was quite rural, the couple of settlements that we went through there both had industry, sort of old mills and yards, things like that. So it's just now, and what are we? We must be about the 7 mile mark. That we, it sort of finally feels like we're 7.2. Yeah, so it finally feels that we're beginning to make a little bit of progress on this. But this is lovely at the moment, and it's a typical north of England landscape. But the landscape will change drastically as we head south. This is very much sort of the lowland rural Cumbria. Once we get past Caldbeck, we're really into the Lake District and the fells, and the hills, so that'll be something to look forward to. The forecast for tomorrow is supposed to be pretty decent, quite sunny, so hopefully we'll get over High Peak, and that is the highest point on the Cumbria Way tomorrow, and it should be worth the effort to get up to the top, hopefully. But in the meantime, I'll stop rambling because we've lost quite a bit of time, and we're probably a little bit behind where we'd want to be at the moment, with around 8 or 9 miles left to walk. So hopefully we'll see some more interesting stuff on the trail as we go, and I'll catch up with you later. The old oak here with the fence that it's growing up and around, so the fence here must be quite an age, but we're getting to see some hills now, and the hill to the left there, I don't know if you'll be able to make it out. I'll put an arrow on screen maybe if it's not really that visible. Well, that should be High Peak and Skiddaw, which we're walking over tomorrow. So our destination for today is Caldbeck, which is maybe a mile or two just short of it on this side. But this is lovely now. It's just really pleasant walking through the farmland. Quite an old manor house over there. Again, I'd need to have a look at the guidebook and see if there's any information on it, but we walked this route previously, maybe 10 or 12 years ago, and I don't really remember much about this day other than we were walking in the remnants of a hurricane, and it was like having a freight train passing you constantly. And we got to this point, just up ahead is a bridge, and it's the one thing I remember about this day. We just stopped and sat in the lee of this bridge just to get out the wind for 20 minutes or so, and the route here has been far more enjoyable than I remember it. We've got the river just down on the left here, and as we've been walking along, the sand martins have been flitting around over the river. It's just a really nice peaceful summer scene. It's a tad warm now. The sky's cleared a little bit and the sun's out. I'll just get through this. Oh, excuse me. I'll edit that out. And we've just passed a young family, mum and dad, 2 kids, coming to the end of their Cumbria Way walk, and the kids have thoroughly enjoyed it, which is great. Maybe about sort of between 9 and 13. It was brilliant to see kids out doing this kind of trail walking. And there just in front of us is the bridge that we had a shelter behind, and we sat in the lee of that wall for quite some time. So we're over the halfway mark anyway, so I think we must have maybe just 6 or 7 miles left to Caldbeck. We'll get a better view of this house over here. It looks more like a castle, or almost looks like it's got a chapel attached to it. In fact, it's got a peel tower attached to it, one of these sort of small fortified castles. So it's certainly a few hundred years old. Windows almost look Tudor in character, so I'll see if I can dredge up some information about it and pop it on screen if I can. The hills are beginning to get closer,
Yep.
and you should be able to see High Pike there in the background. There's a bit of cloud on it just at the moment, and so far, apart from the first stage to Dalston, this has been quite a lovely river walk. Really gentle walking through fields alongside the river. Really enjoyable walking. Nothing spectacular about it. Oh, the unusual sheep they're having, more sensible than us in the shade of the tree. So we're on the last stage now anyway, maybe about 4 miles or so to get to Caldbeck. Path here is left the river, which is now down on our right. And the landscape's getting a bit more rolling. This part of the world is home to some fantastic medieval churches. I don't know how old this one is. I think, was it St Michael's? It said on the signpost. But this one looks as if it could be medieval itself. Now there's, just to give you an idea of the age of some of these churches here, just to the west of Carlisle is a church in which Edward Longshanks actually lay in state after he died, campaigning against the Scots. Now that was, what, 13th, 14th century? My dates might be well off. But these churches exist all over the place here, and a particular style, but they're fascinating buildings. And the name is St Mary's Church of Sedbergham. I don't know if I've got that name right, but I'll have a quick look at the lich gate. We're back down to the river now and walking through some woodland in the last couple of miles. Really into Caldbeck. Landscape is changing here already, it's becoming a bit more rocky. River here's carved out a little bit of a gorge, and it's a pleasant contrast to the rest of the walk today. Ground's quite wet here, it's been dry all day for us, but it looks as if there's been quite heavy rain. Either that or it's just so sheltered it's not got the sun at all. Nearly finished, it's been a good day, it's been a hot day. And the pub awaits. The last couple of miles seem to have taken a mortal age, but finally we're going downhill and I can see houses in front of us. Maybe got about half a mile left to go, but as is always the way, it's just the last little bit seems to go on forever. And coming through the woodland here, it's been surprisingly tough. I think we're just tired, that's the problem, but we're maybe about 20 minutes away from getting a pint inside us, so that's good. But yeah, it's actually been a walk today that's been a lot better than I expected, much more enjoyable than I expected, much more enjoyable than I remember. But then we weren't walking into a hurricane today. It has been hot, which has had an effect, but yeah, good day's walking, and we've been reliably informed by several people on the route that the Oddfellows Arms, where we're staying at tonight, does excellent food, so looking forward to that. Praise be, we finally made it and I can see the pub, and I've got to say I'm rather pleased I can see the pub because I'm done. Happy times.